let me share with you 2 techniques to master lucid dreaming. And I'm not sure if you may have heard something similar to this, but I'm coming from a different angle. Most of the lucid dreaming culture comes about having interesting experiences. And I'm bringing this technique from Tibetan Buddhism. And the purpose is different. It's not just for entertainment, although it can be very entertaining and there's no wrong with that. But you've been lucid dreaming long enough, you have noticed that your mind is very complex. And there are psychological stuff that happens when you have lucid dreams. And of course, it comes the confusing state of waking up and not being sure if you actually woke up. Nevertheless, these 2 techniques should work every single time because they are based on actual skill. So in that sense, they are not quick fix. They're not techniques to initiate anyone, although you can certainly try. If you're new to lucid dreaming, I recommend Stephen LaBerge's book on lucid dreaming. And let's go for it. The first one, it is one that I learned to do naturally. And I think many lucid dreamers do it too, because at some point you just get used to fall asleep and notice what's happening in your mind while you do that. So when you are slowing down, let's say, the brace or your brain, it comes something that you actually may be familiar with it. Everybody has experienced it at some point, maybe, which is hypnagogic imagery. When you're relaxing right before sleep, if you will notice what's happening in your mind, you will see that there's some sort of like psychedelic, blurry, changing, abstract kind of images coming and going in your mind. Well, that's the first gate to lucid dreaming. I think that's the most natural one. It may take you, 100 times to master this, but I promise you it will give you direct access to lucid dreaming. Sometimes you may be too tired and you may not be able to sustain that awareness, so relaxed and so awake. And that's okay. Just try it. But at some point you will be able to sustain that blurry imagery, this abstract imagery that is changing, and you will see that start taking shape right in front of you. And that imagery is the background matter, let's say. It's not matter, but you know what I mean. It's where the dreams come from. So if you focus on it, your mind's going to start switching and you're able to relax your attention and soften your grip into your personal world enough. You will just start noticing how these shapes start just getting clarity, and you will find yourself literally in a scene, in a very realistic scene. Most people, when this happens for the first times, and sometimes not just for the first time, sometimes you just get shocked by the experience and you get bumped into being awakened. But if you just let these images, you are able to relax your mind and still be able to notice the details of this imagery. At some point, you're gonna eventually be able to bridge from what we call awake to lucid dreaming. And something very normal would be that these lucid dreams will be kind of short in the beginning. But don't worry, don't give up, because I think you won't give up, because if you really taste what I'm talking, you will see how this is a very powerful and entertaining thing to do. It's just that I would suggest to use lucid dreaming for the context of personal development and to improve your life, not just to have experience with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but just to free yourself. So every time you wake up, let's say from a lucid dreaming into this life, it seems more similar. And then for you, it has a direct experience kind of quality to understand how our mind is creating this world we are living in. The second technique, it is, well, I'm going to throw you in there 3 techniques, actually. The first one is just to, when you fall asleep, just noticing your breath. And if you do that, you may not get into lucid dreaming, but it will get you good sleep. So sometimes you find you are too tired, and every night you don't get to be awake while you fall asleep because it's too much. Then try for a few nights to fall asleep with mindfulness of breathing, which is just noticing the breath in your nose or in your belly, but just pay attention to that while you fall asleep. That will give you a good sleep, restful sleep. The second technique, that was the one that I was originally thinking on this as a second technique for this video, it is to actually just notice all the movements or the space of your mind. You're thinking right now. If you have a thought, say in your mind, hello. You will see that sound, or in this case, will be more like imagery, starts occupying a certain kind of space. So the quality of our thoughts is that if you focus on them, you normally get swallowed by them and you lose awareness, you lose consciousness. But if you're able to pinpoint the frame of the TV, let's say, you're able to notice the space where your mind actually happens, then you just cross a boundary and you are a bit beyond your mind. So, and that gives you the chance to hold on to something that will help you see how your mind is moving and creating content, and maybe just your mind is just thinking about something of the day or something about tomorrow, but still you are experiencing it from the stability of something that is beyond your mind. Many people talk about stillness or space, but certainly is the awareness of the container, of the activity, of the limits, of the boundaries of the experience of thinking. And the third technique is the best, to be honest, the best in the sense that it aims higher. And there is something behind lucid dreaming. That's where Tibetan Buddhism acknowledges that it can be a path. Just not for everyone, but it can be a very powerful path for some. And the reason for that is you can get in touch with what would be like in the analogy of the movie Matrix, when you see Neo that is seeing all this. Well, you can reach this sort of code that it is a symbol in the movie. It's a symbol, it's actually light. Most people, from Christianism to, again, Tibetan Buddhism and many other cultures, they talk about light for a reason. Light is the awareness that would create all the experiences that you have. So there's another technique which is based on be able to sort of notice that before you fall asleep. So you notice not just the boundaries of your thoughts, but also actually going deeper and noticing what is noticing, let's say. If you are able to rest on the stability of that knowing, of that awareness, and your body and your mind fall asleep, you may cross the realms of lucid dreaming and go beyond to the source of all that experiences, which is just pure light. And that pure light, it is actually, I don't know if you've seen near-death experiences. I mean, I hear people talking about near-death experiences. Well, they all talk about that light. It's the same light that you experience if you cross lucid dreaming to the other side of the story. And honestly, there are no words to describe the experience. So the purpose of this video is just to hopefully motivate you or get you curious to try this stuff, and let me know how it goes. And at least make every night a very interesting experience. You just don't knock out and lose awareness. Every night can become a huge opportunity for releasing the burden of your life and be free.